for readily accepting our request to be the resource person of this workshop. I thank Dr. L. Ganesh, Associate Professor, and Mr. PVK Chaitanya, Assistant Professor, and Mr. Vasu, Coordinator, PNP Cell, for taking pain in coordinating this workshop, logistics, preparation of brochure, publicity, registration process. So I thank all of you for your support. I thank Professor K. Rajarajasri Madam for her continuous guidance and support for this workshop. I thank our department colleagues for their support. Last but not least, I thank our college management, principal, vice principal, and director for their continuous encouragement and support given. Thank you once again, all of you. Now I request Professor K. Rajarajasri Madam to give a keynote address to the audience. Thank you very much.
Good morning to everyone. I am Professor K. Rajarajasri from Department of VCE and Director R&D GVP College of Engineering for Women, and our beloved Principal Professor K.V.S. Rao Garu, and our Director Professor E.B. Prasad, Vice Principal Professor G. Sudhir, and other head of the departments, and our head of the department, Dr. K. Srinivas Rao, and faculty members, participants, and my dear student friends. So I am very glad to deliver this keynote address on this auspicious occasion of a 5-day workshop inauguration on fight COVID-19 using IoT. And we are very fortunate to have Mr. Ajay Kumar Godara, Director Innovation Lab, IIT Chandigarh, as a speaker for a FTP on this fight COVID-19 using IoT, organized by Department of VCE, GVP College of Engineering for Women, Visakhapatnam. All of us know what is IoT, and earlier we were in IT revolution. Now we stepped into IoT revolution. So this is another revolution we have to fight with, because we have no other go. Whatever the new technologies are entered, we have to make use of this, because all the technologies are only for our people to work on it and to use the technology for any application, scientific or general purpose. The Internet of Things is a system of interrelated computing devices, mechanical and digital machines, provided with unique identity and the ability to share and transfer data over network without requiring any human intervention. IoT is the network that consists of physical devices, vehicles, home appliances, and other embedded systems with electronic software, sensors, which enables these things to connect, collect, and exchange data. And here one more thing, during some time we have forgotten about sensors. Nowadays, because each and every device used to be embedded with sensors, because sensors will emit signals. So sensors importance are also coming to picture after this IoT has entered into our technology, new technology. It is also, but another problem, IoT in other way, suppose for any coin, two sides will be there. One side will be said other advantages and other side disadvantages also. But the IoT is facing several setbacks. But main setbacks, two setbacks are privacy and security. But before using this, we have to take care of these two things. Otherwise, our technology will be failed in its usage. So far, there are no standard methods for tagging, monitoring with sensors. So there are a number of other serious concerns about dangers in the growth of IoT, especially where scientists and researchers are working on this. In the case of privacy and security, there is every scope of getting the software hacked. So that is one thing they have to take care of. But in spite of all these things, the main advantage of this IoT is that it can deliver better customized experience and service to their customers. because of any material is going on the conveyor belt. If this IoT is made use of, this quality, reliability, and everything will be tested there. If any problem is there before delivery, they can take care of it and resubmit their product. So that way it will be actually useful to deliver standard product to the customers. The IoT security, just now I have told you, is the technology area concerned with safeguarding, because there are various connected devices, safeguarding various connected devices and networks. To protect our devices, what we have to do is, all of us know, we have to change the default password very frequently. Otherwise, it will be hacked. And avoid single point failure. And each and because many devices will be connected, and if any failure is there, at any device we have to take care of. And make use of robust algorithms in its application, because many algorithms we are using in a particular application of this IoT usage. The algorithms also, there are robust signal processing and other routing algorithms, and we have to use such a robust algorithm. So by using these methods, somehow we can avoid from this security threats and other things, and we can have better privacy. For anything, there will be convergence of technologies. Suppose if you take a mobile phone, there are many technologies converged into that. One is a wireless communication, maybe mechanical also, and other signal processing. And so there are, for the IoT also, it is not a single technology, it is convergence of many technologies. So we can say of multiple technologies like big data management tool, artificial intelligence, machine learning, RFID, real-time analytics, embedded systems, and community sensors. Just now I have told about sensors. So for which sensor, which device is to be used is of great importance. Intelligent sensors also coming nowadays. Because if we add more and more intelligence, and we can have better and better performance in its service. It has application, the IoT nowadays are speaking much about by our faculty and students and other scientists. It has application in healthcare and smartwatches. Which is embedded in the smartwatch. It can monitor our daily activities, and smart cars. If it is embedded in the smart car, it will give the shortest distance from your point to the destination. So all these advantages are there in the present self-driven smart cars. Smart cities, it is a mega project by our central government. Agriculture, transport, building, and home automation. So because nowadays so many the buildings are coming in a big way, whether it is office building or a domestic building. So in the building automation and home automation also, it is playing wide role. There is another subgroup of IoT. I do not know whether all of us know or not. Industrial IoT, IIoT. So that is specifically, that is not for general purposes, that is meant for only for a specific industries. IIoT is a special group of IT. It refers to interconnected sensors, instruments which are there in their particular industry, and other devices, networks together with computers. Hence, big data analytics and here also real-time optimization is playing a vital role in this industrial IoT also. And deploying these cutting-edge technologies to mitigate the effects of now the present focus is in the COVID-19 is a great deal of IoT. So how making use of these technologies, how we can mitigate the serious effects of COVID-19, as we all know, is a great deal of IoT. In particular, along with other technologies, the cloud is a great use during this crisis. We will see in the FTP, in this present FTP, how IoT will fight with COVID-19. And another special feature of this FTP is hands-on experience also will be provided by our resource person. And we will see to what extent this will be useful for us to know various features of IoT to fight with present day COVID-19 crisis. Another special feature of this FTP, along with theory, is at the same time is giving hands-on experience. But nowadays, online hands-on experience is giving, so you be attentive in going through the particular slides. So now come, what are the things we can monitor? For example, general way, what we know is the BP can be monitored continuously by using IoT from the patients and the medical staff, and also the oxygen content in the blood. And one more thing, BP, and all these things can be from a central point, can be controlled, monitored, and controlled, I think, by this technology. And anyway, after going through the FTP only, we can say properly what is what. Alternative way is before entering into this what is this pandemic situation, the one thing is to avoid from this is for maintaining a social distancing. So for that also, this technology will be useful by using the subband, we can say the smart band theory. Suppose two people are there, when they are in very proximity, that they are not maintaining the distance, some alert signal will be emitted, it vibrate and it boosts the sound. Then the people know, who are monitoring, they will know that they are not maintaining the social distance. In one way, it will be useful for us also, that we will know we are not maintaining the proper social distancing. Then we can correct ourselves and we can respect the social distance. This way also it will be useful. Now whole world is fighting with coronavirus. That we know. This is not our country problem, it is a global problem. So these deliberations will definitely be useful in the present day global pandemic situation. How IoT will fight with COVID-19, we will learn from the detailed presentation by our speaker, Mr. Ajay Kumar. So technically saying, you will know here IoT, what is IoT, and how this works to fight with the COVID-19 in various aspects, like just now I have told about the various parameters, temperature, BP, distancing, and also this can monitor whether some people will be in quarantine, whether they are following the rules stipulated strictly or not, also can be known by using these technologies. And we will see what more he is giving from his FTP, because he is expert in the subject. Very appropriate theme has been selected by our HOD, Dr. K. Srinivas Rao, and our faculty members to meet the need of the day. Because nowadays everyone is talking about this COVID-19. So our college and department has taken a proper decision to organize this event. This is not a general event, it is a social importance event. So I thank our HOD, Srinivas Rao, for giving me this opportunity to deliver this keynote address. And I congratulate our HOD and faculty members for organizing this great event of present day social importance. So I expect many of this sort of events they will conduct in the future also, future time. So I thank you very much. And my sincere advice is, because it is a 5-day workshop, every day 2 hours only. But total it comes to 10 hours. And some theory part, some hands-on experience part. And I request the participants and my dear student friends to go through everything properly. And if you have any doubts, you can send it by your captions or something else and chatting, and they can clarify the doubts and you enjoy the FTP. And I think it will be successful event and the records of our department. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajrajeshwari Madam, for enlightening us in a nutshell about IoT. And now I want to introduce the resource person of this particular workshop, Mr. Ajay Kumar Godara. So Mr. Ajay Kumar Godara is founder and director of Innovate Skill. So it is an NITTR Chandigarh startup initiative. So also he is an innovator and mentor of change, Niti Aayog Government of India. He has expertise in area of robotics and Internet of Things. He has developed many innovative products and having patents in the renewable energy area. He has delivered more than 100 expert talks in national and international FDPs via contact mode and ICT based at NITTR Chandigarh and out of station. He has trained more than 20,000 students. So this is about our resource person in a nutshell. So hope you'll be enjoying the session with him. Sir Ajay sir, so you can continue the session. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, all the participants and all the dignitaries over here. So, welcome you all in this 5 days workshop on IoT and especially on fighting COVID-19 with IoT. So, how you can build some solutions related to fight COVID-19 that I'm going to discuss over here. And in this 5 days workshop, you are going to understand and going to build some solutions, and that also you can deploy in different places also. And you can also build some product to relate it to that to fight COVID-19. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to give you a quick overview about IoT. So what is IoT? Then after that, I'm coming back to that basic solutions to fight COVID-19. So a few examples, first of all, I'm going to share with you that how you can fight COVID-19, and then I will come up about IoT, that what is IoT. So if you are going to build any solutions, so first of all, you have to understand IoT. So what is IoT, that I will let you know later on. First of all, let's see what you can build with IoT. So these are few application and few solutions to fight COVID-19. Like this one is an automatic sanitizer dispenser. So over here you can see it. So over here you can see that this one is mean if anyone is bringing their hand close to that sensor, then it will dispatch that sanitizer and as well as any kind of soap solution or whatever you want to do it. That is first part. So now what you can do, you can control it with IoT also, you can connect with the internet also, and you can monitor all the parameters, that how many times you have washed your hand, and you can connect with your mobile app also, so that after every 5 minutes or 10 minutes it will remind you that you have to wash your hand. Or if you are going to do any kind of movement, so with the help of that movement, it will recognize that you just moved from one place to another place, and it will remind you that wash your hand. So that also can be done with IoT, but this one is simply that you can do it. How you can do it? This one is a circuit. I will let you know each and everything in a detail, that how you can make it. So now I'm just giving you a quick overview that how you can make it and how you can use it. So then after that, you can build some kind of robot, and that can be based on IoT, and for doing UV disinfection process. So that is highly conditions of your works list. So what they are doing, they are just going
Yeah, please wait a moment. So sir will be adding again.
So sorry for inconvenience. There was some connectivity glitch. So pardon me. So let me come back to that part. That but you can do it. Yes. So kindly allow me to share my screen. I'm not able to share my screen. Okay, thank you so much. But I'm not able to share my screen. I'm requesting to host kindly allow me to share my screen.
Yes, sir, you can. Sir,
It's saying that disabled host has disabled my screen sharing. So kindly allow me because I'm not able to share my screen, please.
sir, please check now, sir.
Yes, now it is working fine. Thank you. Yes. So over here you can see it like this one. So this kind of robot you can make it based on IoT. Mean if there is any human being which one is going to control this robot manually, so that become very dangerous because that UV rays are causing serious disease in a human being when it coming in a contact. So you can make it fully automatic based on IoT. Let's see it how it is working. Uh, yes. Okay. So you can do this infection process using this robot, and it is being controlled fully automatic and with IoT. Yes. Then after that, I'm going to discuss few more project, and before that, I'm going to introduce one tool. Over there, we are going to learn all the solutions to fight COVID-19 using simulations. Without having any kind of hardware, you are going to learn each and everything from the scratch. So let's see how you can do it. This one is a tool that is a Tinkercad. Over there you are going to learn all the projects, all the circuits and all the IoT based projects without having any kind of hardware. So that I will share with you. Yes. So over here I'm going to share with you how you can do it. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to open it. And how you can open it, just type the Tinkercad on your web browser. Just you have to type Tinkercad on your web browser. So I'm going to show that how you can join it. So this one is very important part. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to sign in. So हमें क्या करना है, sign in करना है. So how we can do sign in? So for that, what we have to do it, we have to join now. First we have to create account over here in this tool. So this link I'm going to share with you in a chat box. That is very helpful for you because in our upcoming all 5 days we are going to do practically each and everything using simulation tool and many more tools. So let's see how you can do it. So I'm going to share with you that link over here. Yes, tinkercad.com. In the chat box you will able to find it. So what you have to do first you have to click on join now option over there at the right top corner. So click on join now. So after clicking on join now, you will able to find like these options. So you have to click on third one. Third option you have to click on create personal account, and after that you have to select sign in with the Gmail. That is easy way. So you can do in few clicks, you will able to do sign in without filling any information. And second thing, this one is a secure platform. It's not like that any kind of hacking can took place. So this one is a secure website, and it is being developed by Autodesk company. So Autodesk company is one of the renowned company in the designing part. So might be you have seen some software of Autodesk company like AutoCAD and many more. So after going in this Autodesk, after doing sign in the Tinkercad, what you have to do, this one is a free tool. No need to pay anything. आपको कुछ pay नहीं करना है. So over here, what you can do it, you have to click on circuit. This one is my circuit part, and you have to click on create new circuit. So after clicking on create new circuit, you will able to use this platform practically. So how you can simulate any circuit in a very simple and quick way. Let's see it how you can do it. So over here, I'm just going to take this LED, and after that, I'm going to take one battery. So might be you have tried these things earlier. So you have to connect this one. I'm going to connect it over here. Okay, then this option is for fit to screen. So I mean my screen will get fitted over here properly. Yes. So these wires will not overlap. Don't worry about it. They will automatically get crossed. Okay. So now I want to start simulations. So as I'm going to start simulation, you can see your LED get damaged over here. So your LED get damaged. Why it is so? Because that LED is required less current as comparison to battery power rating. So what you have to do, you have to connect one resistance also. Might be you have studied about resistance. So don't worry, everything I'm going to discuss from the basic, and which one is positive, which one is negative, that also I'm going to discuss with you. Don't worry, I'm just giving you quick overview that how you can learn each and everything practically. Start simulation. Now it is working fine. And now if you want to connect any motor with this, that also you can connect it. So like this one is my motor. So I'm going to connect it like this, positive with positive and negative with negative. So after that you can start. See, this one is a simulation. Start simulation options. So you can click on this start simulation option. Motor will start working. So this motor is working. You can see it, and RPM also you will able to see it. So that easily you will able to find it and you will able to simulate it. So let's see some sensor simulations. So this one is my LDR sensor. Might be you have heard about it. That is light dependent resistor or photoresistor. We can call it photo resistor. So over here, what we can do, we can connect this resistance, this sensor in a series over here. So how it will work, that I will let you know. So now you can see the RPM is very less. So I'm clicking on this sensor and I'm just changing that light intensity. So now you can see it is working fine and motor speed is increasing. What is happening? Motor speed is increasing when I'm going to increase light intensity on this sensor. You can see at darkness, light, that motor speed is low. So the sensor also you can simulate it over here in an easy way, and you can understand each and everything practically. And also if you want to make a coding, so how you can do coding, that just I'm giving you an overview, and I'm going to discuss that coding in a detail also, that how you can interface different sensors. So this one is a microcontroller development board that we are going to use for this IoT training. Yes. Over here, this one is a Arduino Uno development board. I will discuss in a detail. Don't worry about it. I'm just giving you a quick overview that what you are going to learn over here practically. So how easily you are going to do each and everything, and how easily you are going to learn each and everything. So let's see how you can do it. Yes. Over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect any motor, any battery, whatever you want to connect, that you can do it. So let me connect one LED. This one is ground. This one is positive. You can connect with any digital pin. These are digital pins. So I'm going to connect with 10 number pin. So after connecting it on 10 number pin, what we have to do, we have to write code. How we can write that code in a very simple way. So I'm going to tell you a very simple technique. With the help of that you can write code simply. So for that, go to code. So you will find that graphical code. So that code is for 13 number pin. So I'm not going to use 13 number pin. You can delete this code. That is by default code. So what we have to do is go to output and select that second block. That is for digital output. Select pin number. We have used 10 number pin over here. -10, you can see it. So we have to select -10 over here. I selected it. High. Then go to control, wait, and then go to again output. Sorry. Take the second block and select pin number, that is 10 number pin, and make it low. And after that again go to wait. Yes. So we just make 10 number pin high for 1 second and low for 1 second. This one program logic we have written over here. So mean my LED will be get high for 1 second and get low for 1 second. And this loop will repeat for infinite time. So it will continuously repeat. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it. So how we can run it? So let's see it. I'm going to start simulations. Yes, simulation is started. Now you can see your LED is high for 1 second and low for 1 second. Why this warning is coming? Because we have not connected resistance over here. Yes. So this LED is working automatic. So I did nothing. It is working automatically with my logic and with my code. So now this graphical coding, how we can learn? So for that I'm going to tell you one more tool. Over there you can learn that graphical programming also. That is Scratch. Scratch is an online tool, that is open source tool. So with the help of that you can learn graphical programming in a very simple way. If you don't know anything about programming, no need to worry. Just be with me and you will learn everything from the scratch, from zero. So this one is a very simple tool. So you can make your code and you can simulate it with your cat, with your panda or whatever you want to do it. Okay. So I want to, these are blocks over here. So this one is move. How much I want to move it, 10 step or 50 step. So I'm going to move it 50 step. Okay, over here what I'm going to do it. So 50 step, after that we have to go to control. In a control we will find some delay, or we can do one more things like motions, turn it 50 degree or 90 degree. I'm going to make it run of 90 degree. After 90 degree again I'm moving 50 step. So if I want to move my cat in a square, so what we have to do it? So I'm going to make a square with my cat. So let's see how we can make it 50 50, and then I'm going to duplicate it. So one more turn we have to use it over here. Okay. So this one turn is 90 degree. So my cat will move 50 step, then rotate 90 degree, then move 50 step, then rotate 90 degree, then move 50 step, then rotate 90 degree, then move 50 step. So I mean my rectangular will, my square will completed square path will be covered by my cat. Okay. After that, I want to repeat this step for 5 times. So I want to repeat this step for 5 times. So go to control. In control, you will find all the conditions. If and else condition you will find over there. So I'm going to use this condition over here. So let's see it. Over here, what you can do, repeat this. Yes, this one is a conditions. So you can pick that block and you can put it over there. Okay. So after that, you can take some delay also at the end. Yes. So now my cat will complete one circle. But I want that after completing one circle, my cat should do some sound. So for that, what we have to do it, go to sound or take some sound, play sound with the name of meow. Okay. So every completion of one round, my cat will say meow. Okay. And also if I want to say some hello, hi, something, that also we can do it also. So this one is the event that for playing it, when we are going to play that flag, then this event will run. Okay. So over here, many more things you will find. Looks also, like after completing one round, if you want to say something hi, hello, that also you can do it. You can say it. Okay. So then it will say hello. So after completing one round, my cat will say hello. Okay. So that also you can do it. Okay. So after that, yes, let it complete. So I'm going to start it. So you can start simulations. Are you able to hear that cat sound? So these steps are very less. That's why you are not able to visualize it. You can increase these steps, 52. Stop it. You can increase that step 50 to 500. 500. Let's see where it is going. Last I am just putting 50 step. Let's see. So cat is moving like this. So 500 is little bit more. So let me reduce it. So I'm going to make it 100 only. So 100 is perfect. Okay. So bring your cat again at your home positions and you can start simulation. So cat is going, moving and rotating. But it is little bit fast, so you can put delay on every move, every movement. After that you can put some delay also, so that it can work properly. So that also you can do it. So are you able to hear that cat sound? Okay, that's great, that's great. So over here what I'm going to do, yes, that's great. So you can mean whatever you want to do, that you can do it with this graphical programming. You can learn from the basic, how you can learn, how you can use conditions. Like in a control, you will find all the condition, if, else, until, unless, all the condition you will find over there, and you can understand it in a very simple way. And that same programming we are using in the Tinkercad over there, same programming we are using it. So this one same programming we used over here in this Tinkercad, but over here we are going to run it in a hardware. तो यहाँ पे हम हार्डवेयर पे रन कर रहे हैं. So over here we are running it in a hardware. Okay. So let me discuss with you a few projects to fight COVID-19. Let's see it how you can build with your own. Yes. So over here you can see it. So this one is a simple automatic sanitizer dispenser, so that you can see it over here in a very simple way. So this one is a automatic sanitizer dispenser. So over here how it is working, that you can see it. So after that we are going to discuss coding also. That same graphical coding we did it. Very simple coding, you can do it. I will teach you how you can learn that coding also. And one more things, over here you have to just start simulation, and as you are bringing your hand close to this sensor, it will start working. Meaning your motor will start rotating. Okay, so as you are bringing your hand close, the motor will start working. You can see. Again you are bringing your hand back, motor will come back to original positions. And with the help of that you can do that dispensing process in a very simple way, that you can do it in a very easy way. So now you can make this project also in hardware also, but you can understand each and everything in the simulations. So now I'm coming back to few more projects. So out of that few projects are very much interesting, so that you can enjoy it at your home also. Okay, let me come back to projects. So now I'm going to discuss with you, this one is a social distancing gadget. So how you can make social distancing gadget to fight COVID-19. So that is very interesting. So these are basic projects. In upcoming days we are going to discuss in detail some advanced project also based on IoT. Yes. Over here I'm going to run it, start simulation, and after starting simulation you will be able to see it this. So what you can do it now, so I'm going to bring, I mean any person is breaking your social distance, like anyway if you have mounted this device on your back side, because at your front you will be able to see it. आप अपने सामने देख सकते हैं, you can see at your front, but you cannot see from your back side. If anyone is going to break your social distance, you will not able to identify it, but you can mount that kind of gadget and at your back side, and you will be able to see it. Like anyone is going to break your social distance, it will beep some sound, so it will notify you. And as well as there is one vibration motor also, with the help of that you will feel that vibration also. If you are going not want that this buzzer should on, so that also you can do it. That's great. That's great. So voice, are you able to hear that voice? Voice of buzzer is audible. That voice of buzzer is audible. Okay, that's great. Thank you. So over here, that similar device, you can make it in a very simple way. So that is social distancing gadget. And one more project you can make with this. Like if you want to make automatic doorbell, that also you can build it. Like if any person is coming in front of your door, so your doorbell will start ringing. Again, if person is going back, so doorbell will get off. So that you can do it in a very simple way over here, over there, that you can do it. So now you can see it. So after doing this, I'm going to share with you some more projects. Those are very much interesting. Okay. So these are very interesting things. You will enjoy these things. Okay, so some participant might be having interest in music. So I'm going to show that how you can make a piano over there in this Tinkercad in a very simple way. Piano, I mean, you can play your piano if you are having a little bit interest in music, and if you are having a small understanding about Saregama Padanisa, then you will enjoy this project in a very good way. Let's see it. So in this project, I'm going to start simulations. So after starting simulation, you have to play these buttons, 7 buttons, and you will get different tone at the output, that Saregama tone at the output, and you can play any kind of music with this if you are having a little bit understanding with music. So let's do it. So this one is Sa. Are you able to understand it? So what tone we are getting at the output? So we are starting with Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni, Sa or something, Ni or like that. Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. This one is Ni. So again you can play it Sa, Re. Okay, you can play that music in a very simple way. So that you can do it. So Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni Sa, or any music you can play also with the different buttons. Just you have to practice it, and you will able to play that particular song also. So that you can do it. That also you are going to learn over here in a very simple way how you can do it. So these are few projects that I have discussed with you. Yes. So a few more things that I'm going to discuss, and one more thing that I am going to share with you, how you can make your project cost effective. That also you can do it in a very simple way. So this one is same project, a social distancing gadget that I shared with you. So this one is a automatic disinfection tunnel. So how it is working, that also you can see. Yes, this one is an automatic disinfection tunnel. I will share with you a practical example of that tunnel. So how it is working, that you can check it out first of all. So I'm going to start simulation over here. So you can see it. Yes, if any person is coming over here, so this automatic disinfection process got started. So I will share with you that video also, that how it is working. Don't worry about it. So you can see it. If any person is coming and there is any moment, so my pump will get start, and that red LED get on, and after that green LED get on. So red LED on and pump is on, and after one person is not moving, so green LED on, red LED off. So that also you can make it in a very simple way. You can make your automatic street light also over here, and many more things you can do with this Tinkercad. So now I'm coming back to that IoT. So what is IoT? That is very important to understand it, and what is the market requirement of that IoT? How much market is being covering by IoT? That is very important to understand it. So that I'm going to share with you. Yes. So this is all about IoT. IoT, I mean Internet of Things. So why Internet of Things is important in current scenarios, as Madam has told over here, that there is huge requirement of Internet of Things, and that is latest industrial revolutions. So why we call it latest industrial revolutions? Let's see it over here. So these are three major industrial revolutions that happened in the past. First one is hydropower and fossil fuel. Then after that, second industrial revolution is, that is electrical energy and mass production, that you can see. So might be, are you able to visualize all these things? So you can visualize it, that what are the impact of electrical energy, what are the impact of mass production. So whatever appliance, whatever equipment we are using, like mobile phone, computers, laptop, why these devices are so much cheap in this scenario? Reason behind that, so we are able to produce mass production. That's why it is possible to come up in our hands. Because one computer came that was very big size, so that was approximate one room size, and it's very costly also. But now in these days, all things are going to become more cheaper due to mass production. And second is electrical energy. So that is second industrial revolution that happened in the past. Then third industrial revolution was, that is telecommunication and PLC. Might be you have heard about mobile and all that, and earlier it was very high call rate and all that, and cost also, that mobile phone was too much high. But now in these days, mobile cost is too much low, and now when we talk about configurations, for high configurations, high memory and high features, we have to pay for mobile. And but call rate are very cost effective now in these days, totally free, equivalent to free, so that you can see it, but we have to pay for data. And now we are going to enter in 5G also, from 4G to 5G. So over here you can see telecommunications and programmable logic controller, that is PLC. With the help of PLC, the automation took place, and that was the part of automation in third industrial revolution. Now we are living in the era of fourth industrial revolution, that is 21st century revolution, that is about digital factory, that is about smart factory, that is about industry 4.0. So what include in this industry 4.0? So this concept came from the Germany, and it defined a new way of organizing factories, that how you can make your factory smart, how you can serve your consumer better way, so how you can make your production flexible, and how you can optimize your resources. So these are major parameter of industry 4.0. So you can see it, the major principle, key principle, factory become digital and flexible. Second key principle is simulation tool and powerful data processing. Mean now in these days we are using simulation tool in the industry. With the help of that, we can save lot of money, lot of cost over there. So that we are doing it. Then after that, there is one efficient factory. Mean you can make your factory efficient also in term of manpower, in term of energy also. कि आप अपनी फैक्ट्री को मैन पावर से एफिशिएंट कैसे बना सकते हैं, हाउ यू कैन मेक योर फैक्ट्री एफिशिएंट in term of human resources and as well as factory resources. So that is also important part of that. So what are the component of industry 4.0? So over here you can see it. These are major component of industry 4.0. First one is robotics, cloud computing, internet of things. And every component has their own area. You can see it. With the help of that, it is showing that how much contribution of that component, particular component in industry 4.0. So you can see over here, IoT is one of the major component of industry 4.0. Then after that you can see big data, then 3D printing, artificial intelligence, sensor also, that is part of it, robotics also, that is part of it. So let's see how you can understand it. So what about IoT ecosystem? So now you can see in upcoming 5 to 10 years, that kind of environment you will able to see. over there, everything will be automatic. So when you are going to wake up from your bed and you are going to get dressed with the help of a robot. So you can visualize it, and after that you can see when you are going to going out from your room, your car will come automatically from the parking, because the sensor is mounted over the everywhere in your dress and all that. So you will able to detect that when you are going to move it, and your car will come automatically, because driverless car is coming in these days. So that you have seen, I think that you have seen on the internet also, and might be you have heard about that news. So what is Internet of Things exactly? So these are sensors, connectivity, and people and process. There are three major components in IoT: sensors, actuator, connectivity, people, and process. So like these are sensors, and with the help of this sensor, you can make different devices to fight COVID-19. Like if we talk about this chemical and gas. So recently one incident took place in Visakhapatnam, might be you have heard about it. So that was about gas leakage. Have you heard about it? The gas leakage incident, and more than 14 casualty took place over there. Have you heard about it? So respond in the chat box. Yes, yes. So how you can avoid that kind of incident using IoT, that is very important. So over here, first of all, you have to understand it. Yes, in Visakhapatnam. Yes, yes, you all are from Visakhapatnam. That's why I'm just asking from you that was near to you. So you should know about it. But how you can find some solutions? How you can find some solution for that? That is very important. So how you can find that solution? You can detect that gas leakage using IoT, and you will get notified if there is any kind of gas leakage. अगर वहाँ पे if there is any kind of gas leakage over there, you can get SMS on your mobile phone, so that you can save a lot of lives over there, and you can avoid any kind of casualties. So that also you can do it. Leakage of any kind of liquid or any petroleum kind of things, that also you can do it. So this one is about force detection, force and load detection, and with the help of that also you can make many more applications. These are generally used sensors. These are generally used sensors. So you can make anything out of it. Like you can use camera also over there, and you can use acceleration and tilt sensor also over there. So these are different sensor. You can use it. So that I'm going to discuss also a few of them. Yes. So then after that, connectivity. So how you are going to connect your device with the cloud, how you are going to send your data on the cloud, that is very important point. So there is two things. First thing is that acquiring data from the sensor. So how you are going to acquire your sensor data, and after that how you can send your sensor data to the cloud. Then there are different mode of operations. With the help of that, you can use with the mode of communications, you can send data on the cloud. Either you can do with Bluetooth, you can use with the LoRaWAN, that is NFC also, and you can use RFID, you can use Ethernet also, and then after that you can use 3G, 4G, LTE, these connection also you can use it, like GPRS. So with the help of that you can send data on the cloud. So these are process. What you can do with that data. First step is acquiring data from the sensor, then sending that data on the cloud, and after that what we have to do? We have to perform some application on the cloud. So what application we can perform? Like remote monitoring and maintenance, control and automations, supply chain management, security, energy, mobile device and app, financial, location tracking. These application you can perform on the cloud. So there is one simple example that I want to share with you, that where IoT is being implemented, Internet of Things, devices are connected with the internet. So the simple example that you can see, that is Ola and Uber cab. So in that Ola and Uber cab, so what we are doing, we are just going to book any ride from our mobile phone. So mobile phone is one device, one thing, and we are connecting with the internet, and we are going to open that app, and we are sending our location over there with the server, with the cloud, and that cloud is sending that location to that driver. So driver is finding your locations, and over there also some analytics is being implemented. Some IoT AI is also integrated over there. The driver who is going to get your ride, so they are going to check their profile, they are going to check their rating, and after that they are checking their location, that which one is nearest, and after that they are going to send you location, and your location they are going to share with the driver also. So that can be happen like this with IoT, and you can monitor your assets also using this IoT tool also. Like location you can monitor and you can control, and you can track it also. So you can locate, you can do tracking of all the locations. So the interaction between these sensor connectivity, people's process are creating a new type of smart application and service. So these are few more applications that you can see it over here. So these are few more applications over here, so that you can see it. So like Nest connected cars, and after that you can see activity trackers, smart outlet, parking sensors. These you can see it. There are few applications that is being implemented. Might be you have used that tracker of health monitoring, like some bands also you have used. So these are diverse applications in home, consumer, transport, health, building, cities. So the detail you will find over there: light, bulb, security, smoke alarm, traffic routing, and these things you can use for different applications. So then some compound application like integrated application in transport and smart city. So smart city, all the transport and parking is being connected with each other. I mean, you can see your mobile app that which parking slot is vacant. If your car is going to get damaged, or if there is any kind of issue is occurring in your car, so you can call the mechanic over there at your locations. That also you can do it in a very simple way. So that is also healthcare plus smart home, smart building and mobilities. So these are few applications that quickly I'm just going to share with you. Digital farm to table. So that also you can use it. So digital farming. So after that, how large is the IoT market, that you can see it, that you can visualize it over here. Yes. So that we can do it. 8 billion devices is connected in 2014. That is the market segment. So now you can see it over here. Connected devices like business impact, you can see it over here. So this one is 2020. So you can see over here market growth, that is exponential market growth over here, that you can visualize in a very simple way. So there is 180 plus billion in revenue. So I'm going to make it quick. So total revenue in 2020, it will be more than 1 trillion. You can see it. Our economy of the country is 3 trillion. So worldwide that IoT market is 1 trillion. So that you can see it. You can visualize it. So these are major application of IoT in smart building, energy, environment, agriculture, and logistic, home automation, smart city, and manufacturing. So this one is a value chain of IoT, in how that part is being manufactured, designed, and all the data is sending on the cloud. So that you can visualize over here in this some application of robotics, so that you can see it. So how you can see how part is being manufactured in the industry, that you can see. So are you able to see how many manpower is working over here? How many manpower is working? So you can see and you can visualize over here, only few manpower is working. So I think, okay, hardly 1 and 2, no manpower. Yes, few person is working over here, that you can see it. Over here, one person will go. And let it come, let it come. And also very important point, yes, this one is going. And very important point is that one in one cycle time, in 1 minute, one product is coming out, you can see it. And now, you know, now our country has taken one initiative that we have to make our country self-sustainable. Samriddh Bharat we have to make. So how we can do it? All the robot over here you are able to see, those are imported, but now in our country we are going to build it. So who is going to build it? So we are, you all are going to build it. You have to take initiative. You have to learn these things and you have to use it. So if we are going to use all the Chinese products, then how we will sustain in the market? Because if there is any robot which is going to get damaged, so who is going to repair? So we have to call some engineer from China, Germany or Japan. And if they refused to come here, so how much loss we have to bear for industrialists? So that is very big loss. So we have to make all these things self-sustainable, self-dependent. So that is very important. Yes, all the process is being carried out with the automatic way. So पूरा process हमारा यहाँ पे automatic हो रहा है. So everything is automatic. In one cycle time, one product is coming out. So that you can see it. So that is happening in the industry. So that you can visualize it. So what kind of industrial environment is there? I mean, everything is automatic over there. So there are few more IoT applications that you can see in a robot also. So to fight COVID-19, we can build some kind of humanoid robot also like this, and we can use this robot for serving COVID-19 patient in a hospital, so that we can save doctors' lives also. That is very important. Doctor and other personals over there in hospitals, so that lives also we can save it. Yes. So now we are entering in a 5G segment. So as we are going to connect with 4G to 5G, so more devices will be get connected and there will be more scope of IoT, Internet of Things. So there are some disadvantages also about it. So what are disadvantages that you can see it? If you are going to make anything, that should be perfect. वहाँ पे कोई scope नहीं होना चाहिए error का. So whatever we are going to design it, that should be perfect. There should not be any scope of error. So over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a few more applications like home application robot. So in upcoming days, you will able to find that all the home application task is being done by a robot that you can see. So robot will do all the home activity and home tasks. You can build some robot for your own application also, but that perfection should be over there. So if there is some fault, you will not able to make it, not able to perform your task. So that also you can make it. So that is for fun applications. Yes. So now sometime when we are going to make anything or when we are having a lack of knowledge, so how boss is behaving in industry, that you can see it. So this one is boss behavior in industry. You can see it when we are not having a proper knowledge. So you have to be ready. So when we talk about basic of component, when we are going to learn IoT, so first we have to understand about basic of components. So why it is important? So when we talk about capacitor and all the diode and all the component ICs over here, so why this much is important? Important is these why these components are important. So over here you can see it, the capacitor. So if we are going to use a capacitor, if we are going to use it in a reverse polarity, so what can be happen? You can see. So your capacitor will get blasted if you are going to connect it in a reverse polarity. So that is very important part. So we have to connect all these things in a proper way with proper rating. So if you are going to connect that capacitor in an aeroplane, so what is happening over here? So a very big casualty can took place over there. So that is very important. So whenever you are going to use any kind of component, you have to take care. You have to use all the component wisely, and precision is very important. So you can just visualize how much casualty can took place when any kind of incident is going to took place like this. So that is very important, and you have to design each and everything in a smart way. So this one is a resistance. So when we are going to understand IoT, so first we have to understand basic of component for a IoT applications. So over there you can understand the basic resistance, the basic capacitor, and basic Ohm's law. So this one is a resistance. So how it is working? Resistance is trying to stop flow of current, and voltage is trying to throw flow the charge. The voltage is pressing it, and you can see it. So this one is a color code of resistance. So might be you have studied it in your classes, and if you have not studied, don't worry, you can see it. So with the help of that color code, we can calculate resistance. You can note it down also. I'm going to ask in upcoming practical session that which color code having what value. So over here you can see it. That is might be you have heard about it. B.B. Roy, Great Britain, having very good wife, and with the help of that you will able to simulate it. With the help of that you will able to calculate that that resistance value of that resistor. So this one is 4 band. This one is 5 band that you can use it. So this one is a LED. So in a LED there is two terminal. One is positive and one is negative. So how we can identify that which one is positive and which one is negative? So the bigger one is positive and smaller one is negative. That is one of the simplest things. But second part is that so this one is a flat part. If that lag is cutted and both lag are equal, then how you will identify? You have to check that flat part. So that flat part over here in this LED, and that is always negative. So that you have to take care. And when we are looking from inside, then you can see it that bigger part is negative and smaller part is positive, and that smaller part is connected with this positive. This positive is bigger length, that you can see it in a very simple way. So you can visualize it again. I'm repeating that anode is positive and cathode is negative. So anode, when we are looking from inside, the smaller flag is positive anode, and bigger flag means that length over here, this flag, that is negative, that you can see it. And that flat part also you can see it, that is also negative side. So when we are going to control any process in industry, so how we can do it? We can make it automated using some sensors, some devices, and some controllers over there. So how we can control it? For that, what we are going to do? We are going to put some controller over there, and in that controller, with the help of that, we can read that internal temperature and that pressure also. And according to that, what we can do? We can control our process automatic without any human being involvement over there. So sometime when boss is absent, then we are behaving like this. Same thing I think happening with you. When teacher is not looking towards you, you get you have some good sleep over there in your class, so that you have to avoid it. Yes, one teacher is looking towards you, then you are become so much active that you are so much intelligent. You are watching and watching that lecture very seriously. So might be some participant has got slept right now. So wake up and get ready to listen it, ready to learn it. Then after that, microcontroller and microprocessor, that also we can use it. So over here we are going to learn about microcontroller, then microprocessor. So microcontroller is like 80Y51 families and like this, and microprocessor is some advanced Intel processor. So these are microprocessor. So Raspberry Pi is a microprocessor and Arduino is a microcontroller. So we are going to use Arduino Uno first, then after that we are going to discuss about Raspberry Pi also. And in the Raspberry Pi, what we are going to do? We are going to do some advanced IoT applications. So that also I'm going to share with you what are the major difference. So major difference you can see in a RAM memory also. That RAM in a Arduino, that is very less, or in a microcontroller that is very less in KB and MB. But in a microprocessor, that is in a GBs, that you can see it. So cost very cheap, and this one is very expensive. Purpose dedicated or embedded. So dedicated purpose, you can use your microcontroller, and for advanced application or multitasking, you can use Raspberry Pi or microprocessor. No operating system in this microcontroller, but in this microprocessor, you will find operating system also over there. So this one is Arduino Uno board, and this one is Raspberry Pi board, that you can see it in a very simple way. Now over here, this is Arduino. So how we can use Arduino? So in Arduino, these pins we are going to use it like digital pins. These are analog pins that you can use it. These are output pins that I will discuss in a detail also. So now I'm going to just discuss basic things and basic components, and after that I will discuss all these things in a detail. So let's come back to that basic part. So let me share with you one basic part over here. Be with me, I'm just going to share with you one screen, PPT. Okay, let me open it. Okay, so let me share with you. So over here, what we are going to do, we are going to understand basic of components like resistor, capacitor, diode, transistor, LED switch, push button, soldering kit, batteries. Then after that, some tools like multimeter, wire stripper, cutter, breadboard, soldering kit, glue gun, files, electric hand cutter, and drill. So these things are very important to understand it when we are going to implement any kind of IoT applications. So first of all, try to understand electricity. Yes, now you can visualize it. Yes. So when you are going to give power to any appliance, that appliance become alive, and that can perform some application also. So electricity is a form of energy. So electricity is all around us. Might be you have visualized it. So powering technology like our cell phone, computer, lights, soldering irons, and air conditioners. So what electricity consists of? So it consists of voltage and current. So what is voltage? Voltage is a push that causes the current flow, and it occurs between 2 points. So voltage is just trying to push that flow of current, pushing that charge with the help of that current is flowing. So current is flow of electron. So that electrons are flowing in this particular circuit, that is flow of electron, that is known as current. So this voltage is trying to push that electron so that they can flow it, and more voltage is there, more current can be flowed. So just visualize it. This one is a battery, and you can see the voltage and current. So voltage, how voltage is, this one is a potential difference, and these are electrons flowing over there, and our appliance is working. So what is voltage, current, and resistance? You can see it over here in a very simple way. Yes. So voltage, that is charge, voltage, current, and resistance. So voltage, I'm just going to use some water analogy. Analogy means water that is equivalent to charge, pressure that is equivalent to voltage, and flow that is equivalent to current. So over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain you with the help of water, so that you can understand it and you can visualize it in a very simple way. So over here you can see it, voltage. So voltage is a potential difference. Just visualize it. If you are having a tank at your home, if that tank is on second floor, at the second floor of that second floor roof, so over there that tank is mounted, and you are going to open your tap at ground floor, so pressure will be good. So if you are going to put that tank on the ground floor and going to open that tap, so that pressure of the tap will be very less. So why it is so? Because more will be the height from ground, so more pressure of the water will be. Similar way in the voltage also, more will be the voltage, more current will be flow. So more pressure will be over there. So that water is representing over here, that is charge or flow of electron or current, you can say it. So that you can see it. Now you can see both are having same height. So both tank at your second floor and both height is same, but that pipe is little bit smaller. So what is happening? Voltage is high, but current is flowing less because resistance is high over here. So resistance is high, so that you can see it. Over here resistance is less. So you can see, might be you have practiced at your childhood time also. So when your gardener or any one of your friend or your family member is going to shower water on your garden, so might be you have pressed that pipe with your foot, and when you are going to press your pipe, so your pressure of that output of your pipe will get very less, that get reduced. So might be you have tried it at your home. So what is happening over there? So what you are going to do, water is flowing in this pipe and you are going to press it. So what is happening? You are going to increase that resistance. So more the resistance will be over there, less water will be flow over there, or less current will be flow over there in this pipe or in this circuit, so that you can visualize it. So water I'm just going to use for understanding it, so that you can visualize it in a very simple way and you can understand it. So what is Ohm's law? Might be you have heard about it. Ohm's law is the backbone of all electrical and electronics. So what Ohm's law states, that is voltage is directly proportional to current, and that constant is equal to, that is resistance. So this one is a Ohm's law. Over here what is happening? That current is voltage is trying to flow that current, and Ohms is trying to resist it. Ohms Ohm's law or constant. So that resistance is trying to oppose that flow of current. So Ohm's law graph, you can see it. So there are different type of batteries. Non-rechargeable battery, rechargeable battery, that you can see it. These are non-rechargeable batteries. So these are non-rechargeable, mean whenever you have to replace your battery, then only you will able to continuously run your appliance. So these are rechargeable, mean you are also recharging with your own self with pizza. Might be you are missing your pizza due to this lockdown, I can understand it. So don't worry, everything is going to become normal soon, or you are going to build some solution to fight COVID-19, so that you can get pizza without any kind of COVID-19 in 19 disinfection, with the disinfection of COVID-19. Yes. So these are rechargeable batteries. These are switches. So you can use these switches for just turn it on and off. In a simple way, you can make it turn on and off your appliance, and with a very simple way. So these are operation of switches. So that you can see it, like when we are going to close circuit. So over here what is happening? So when you are going to close it, your battery is going to provide current will start flowing in the circuit, and your LED will start glowing. So this one is one of the simple circuit for making it in a operations, so that you can do it. So similar way you can do other things also. Type of switch, push button and push button, that you can see it where Yes, sorry for inconvenience. So over here, these are buttons that you can use it for your applications. So over here you can see it like SPDT switch. These are switches, different type of switches you can use for different applications. Now this one is a SPDT. Might be you have seen that switch in different appliances at your home. So I will let you know later on in detail how you can use it. So this one is a slide switch. In some appliance you are able to find it. This one is a resistance, you can see it. So yes, this one is a resistance. You can like Ohm's law that I shared with you earlier, color code also I shared with you, LED also I shared with you over there so that you can see it. So LED terminals you can see it over here. LED working you can see it over here and how it is working. So this circuit we are going to make it, and after that I'm going to show that how you can make series and parallel. So first we have to make this circuit of LED and we have to calculate that resistance value in the Tinkercad, and then after that we are going to use series and parallel connections. So let's first of all come back to Tinkercad and let's discuss about that circuit. Okay, let's see how we can do it. So I'm going to come back to Tinkercad and I'm going to make our circuit over there. Yes. So go back to Tinkercad. So first of all, you have to make a simple connection of battery with LED and you have to calculate that resistance value. So that I'm going to tell you. To create new circuit over here. What you can do, you can select this one is battery, or you can take another battery also. It's not necessary that always you have to take this battery. You can take this one. There are many more batteries over here. So after that, what we have to do it, we have to connect this one, then I'm going to connect one push button also. So we have to connect it with this one is cathode. Cathode is negative. So this one I'm going to connect it. So opposite we have to connect it with the negative. Yes, these are connection of push button that I will let you know later on also how we are going to connect it. So over here we have to use resistance. So now you have to tell me that how much resistance value to use over here. So we have to use Ohm's law. So I'm going to just explain you from the basic that how you can use Ohm's law over here. So let me share with you. So how you can use Ohm's law? So Ohm's law is saying that V is equal to IR. Okay. So over here, what is V? V is equal to V supply minus V forward. So what is V supply and what is V forward? So V supply is equal to, that is 9 volt. That is voltage, battery supply voltage. That is 9 volt. And V forward is equal to V forward, that is LED requirement voltage, LED forward voltage you calling it, that is 2 volt. That is 2 volt. So आपकी LED की forward voltage है, that is 2 volt. So your LED forward voltage is 2 volt. Now you have to use all these things, and what is I? So I over here is I is equal to IF. So I is equal to over here, let me make it okay. So I is equal to over here, that is IF, that is equal to 20 milliampere. That is current rating of one LED, and how much current is required for a LED. So these values we have to put it over here. I is equal to, sorry, there is some mistake, V is equal to IR. Yes. So this one you can see it. So now all these values we have to put it and we have to calculate that value of R. So R value we have to calculate it for one LED. So what we have to calculate? R we have to calculate it. R is equal to V upon I. V upon I. So that all the values we have to put it over here and we have to calculate it. So R value we have to calculate it. V, what is V? V is equal to V supply minus V forward. That we have to use it and divide by I. I is IF. That is IF. So are you able to calculate it? Are you able to calculate R value? R value you have to calculate it. So now tell me your answer. So V supply I told you over here, that is 9 volt. V forward, that is 2 volt, and IF is 20 milliampere. So now you have to tell me that value. Yes, I want to know from other participant also. So yes, 350, 350, 3500. Yes, yes. Come to correct answer. Yes. So yes, 350 ohm is over there. So that value is the correct answer is 350 according to these calculations. Yes. Okay. So 350 you have to check it out that it is working or not. Let me come back to circuit and see it. If we are going to connect one resistance of 350, what is happening? You can connect it and you can change color also over here. I'm going to make it red. So this one is positive and this one is black. You can make it black because it is, this one is ground. Yes. So I'm going to check with 350. So let me make it 345. So I'm going to make 340 and let me check what is happening. And you can do fit to screen so that you can visualize it properly. So now I'm going to start simulations. You can see my LED is not working. When I will press this push button, then only it will work. So as I'm going to press it, LED is working, but there is some warning sign. So what is that warning sign? That you can see it, LED current through the LED is 20.3 milliampere, while maximum recommended is 20 milliampere. So mean your resistance value is not correct, so you have to make it 350. Now I'm going to check it 350. So start simulation, press it, now it is working fine. So this one is working fine. Okay. So now I'm going to make little bit more twist. If I have to connect two LEDs in a series, so what will be the output? What will be the resistance requirement? So what's the meaning of two LEDs in a series? So I'm going to make a connection like this, two LED in a series. So we have to calculate R value for two LEDs. Now you can calculate it and tell me that what will be the R value. So when we are going to connect two LED in a series, so what will be the value of R? That you have to tell me. Yes, I'm waiting for your answer. Do it, hurry up. Everything is same. LED, that current rating is same. Supply voltage is 9 volt. That is same that we did it earlier. So supply voltage is same. So some participant is saying 250. Okay, I'm waiting for other participant response. So two resistance we are connecting, 250, 150. Okay, 250. Okay, let me check it with 250 and 150 also what is happening. So let me come back to my circuit. So over here I'm going to make two LEDs in a series. So let me remove that button. Button is not needed. Cathode I'm directly connecting with ground. So after that I'm going to connect one more LED, or you can connect one resistance over here with this. If you are going to make same circuit. Resistance you can connect in any direction, in positive or negative, wherever you want to use it. So this one we have to connect with one more LEDs. So when we are going to connect LEDs in a series or any appliance in a series, so over there what we have to do it, we have to click that anode with cathode. And at the end we have to connect with, that is anode, you have to connect it with positive. So now participant is saying that resistance value will be 250. So let me check it at 250. 250, that is ohm. Yes, that is ohm. Okay, so now let me check it how it is working. So it is working fine. So I mean for two LEDs that value is 250. So now you have to tell me for six LEDs, or let's take 5 LED. For 5 LED, what will be the resistance value? Now you have to tell me. For 5 LED, everything is same. Voltage, supply voltage is same, LED rating is same, voltage rating is same, current rating is same. So now you have to calculate it for 5 LED. So I'm going to connect 5 LED. Now you have to tell me that resistance value for 5 LEDs. Do it, hurry up, calculate it. Calculate it for 5 LED. 3, 2 more I'm going to connect it. 3, 2, 5, yes, 5 LEDs I have connected it. Now you have to tell me, then only I will change my resistance value over here. So how much value of resistance is required over there? For 5 LEDs in a series. So not possible with 9-volt battery. Okay, some participant has responded it. So I'm waiting for other participant response. So what will be the output with 5 LEDs in a series? So 5 LEDs, if we are going to connect in a series, so how much resistance value we have to connect it? So the formula is same. Formula is same that we used earlier. What was that formula? We're going to write over here that same formula. We'll see it. This one is my formula. Over here, what we can do, we are going to use multiple LED, and when we are going to use number of LED, it means R is equal to V supply minus NVF upon IF. And what is happening? N is number of LED. N is number of LED. If you are going to calculate for 3, you have to put N is equal to 3. If you are going to calculate for 5, you have to put N is equal to 5. Okay, it's some participant is saying that it will not going to work with 5 LEDs. You have to use only 4 LED. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how it will work. So let me come back to my circuit. So over here, this one is my circuit. So 5 LEDs I have connected. So I have used, some participant is saying that it will not work. So I'm going to change my resistance value. So 250 ohm to 2 ohm. Let it make it 2 ohm. Otherwise we can remove it also. So let me check it. Start simulation. It is working. It is working. So some participant is saying that it is not possible, but how it is working? These LEDs are working over here with 5 LEDs in series also. So sometime when we are doing practically a few things, then we have to understand that concept in a deeper way. So what is happening when we are going to connect 5 LEDs? So the proper voltage, supply voltage will get reduced. So voltage requirement for a LED is 2 volt. But if we are going to provide less than 2 volt, so what is happening over there? So the intensity of that LED will get reduced. आपकी LED की intensity reduce हो जाएगी. Your LED intensity will get reduced. So that is very important. You will not able to glow all the LEDs with full brightness because that rating is, yes, that resistance is coming minus 50. Just suppose it, just we can do calculation, but that value will become in a negative in a calculations. But we have to check it practically also. So over there, what we can do, we can reduce that voltage rating of LED, but over there LED will glow, but will with the less intensity. So for that, if we are going to calculate it for 5 LEDs, what we have to do, we have to increase that supply voltage. Either you can do supply voltage. So I'm going to connect, going to increase that supply voltage that you can do it. So you can connect series LEDs in a series and in a parallel also. Now I'm just going to ask you that how we can connect LEDs in a parallel. First you have to calculate resistance for 2 LED in a parallel, and then after that you have to calculate for 6 LED in a parallel. So that parallel circuit you have to do it your own, and tomorrow I'm going to ask about it, how you have connected it. You have to calculate that resistance value also. That also you have to do it. Okay, so that is up to you. Now it's your task. So आपको you have to do in tomorrow in your, that is homework, that you have to make all the LEDs in a parallel, and you have to calculate the resistance value. First you have to do with the two, then you have to do with multiple LEDs. That formula I shared with you, that same formula we have to use it. This formula we have to use it for parallel LEDs. So when we are going to connect parallel LEDs, so over there what is happening? So the current is being divided, voltage will be same. But in series, voltage will be divided, current will be same. That you can see it over here. So that you have to make it, this formula you have to use it. N is number of LED. So now N is multiply with current. Over here N is multiplying with voltage. That is the only important part over here. So now I'm coming to question answers. So you can ask your queries over here at the comment box, or if you want to enable your voice or video, that also you can do it, and you can ask your queries. So now it's your turn. You have to ask your queries. If any participant having any kind of queries related to this, they can ask it. So some participant is saying that cut it voltage of LED is 1.6 volt. So 0.8 volt is sufficient to just close. Yes, that also you can do it. Yes. So that is practically that you have to visualize that how much voltage is required, how much current is required. If you are going to give less voltage and less current, what is happening over there, that also you can see. Okay. Yes. So now it's your turn. You can ask any kind of queries. So Tinkercad no need to install it. That is online. आपको Tinkercad को online use करना है. I'm going to share with you again. So go to Tinkercad. So I'm going to sign out over here. Stop it. Refresh it. So I'm going to show the Tinkercad that how it is working. Log out, and this one, when you are going to open Tinkercad, it will be look like this: www.tinkercad.com. That website you have to open it, www.tinkercad.com. That link I'm going to share with you. Okay, I'm just going to share with you that link over here in this chat box. This one is okay. Let me open the chat. Yes, that is www.tinkercad.com. So after that, you have to click on join now. As you are going to click on join now, you will find three options. You have to click on create a personal account at the bottom, third option. So after selecting that option, you have to click sign in with Google. You can do with email also, but over there you have to fill some information. But when you are going to do sign in with Google, so that would be easy if you are having a Gmail ID. So you will able to select your account, and after selecting your account, you will able to do it. So started simulations. Sorry, that login process is continue, and you will able to do sign in over there in the Tinkercad. You have to click on the circuit, and after clicking on the circuit, you have to click on create new circuit. All the circuit will be get saved also automatic, and you will able to open Tinkercad, and after that you will able to simulate it also. I think it is clear to everyone. So it is clear to everyone. Okay, that's great. That's great. So during making any circuit, if any participant face any kind of difficulty, so you can do one thing. Let me share with you my screen. Okay, if any participant face any difficulty while making any circuit, so what they can do, you can WhatsApp me. over there. This one is my contact details. So you can WhatsApp me or you can email me. I will respond you as I will got time, and I will troubleshoot your queries, and you will able to learn it with the practically. So don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. Yes. So now you can put your queries in the comment box. So kindly type your queries if any participant having any kind of queries. Yes. No, we cannot use Tinkercad for FPGA. So for that we need their own interfacing software. Tinkercad we can use for Arduino only. Arduino, and there is some more microcontrollers like Atney and all that. For that we can use it. So that is for learning purpose only. For when we have to deploy any advanced application, for that we have to go for that specific platform, specific IDE. Like when we are going to use any kind of different microcontroller. So for that we have to use their own microcontroller user interface or their IDE. Then only we will able to upload program over there. Okay, thank you. So thank you so much to all the participants. So I'm going to sum up it over here. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked it. So kindly do practice if you are having a laptop, and if you are having a mobile, you can try it at least. So in mobile also you can try it, but you will not able to perform it properly. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to sum up it over here, and I'm going to hand over this session to coordinators. Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So we'll be meeting tomorrow at 12 o'clock sharp. Hello. Hello. So all the remaining participants, so please join the Google Classroom. So if you have any issues on the Google Classroom, have it in the chat. Or shall I explain how to join the Google Classroom? So I'm able to see only very less number of people in the Google Classroom. So all your assignments, quizzes and feedback forms, every attendance, everything will be in the Google Classroom itself. So it will not be here. So please join the Google Classroom. So I'll be sharing my screen now and tell you how to join the Google Classroom. So I think my screen is visible to you now. So this is the Google Classroom which you have to join into. Oh. So link is already given in your mail. So have a look at it. So I'll be showing you again how to do that. So I'll be going out of this Google Classroom now. So this is the Google Classroom that I have joined as a student. I am unrolling from this classroom now. So now if you want to join into your Google Classroom, so you have to log in with your Gmail ID. Okay, you have to log in with your Gmail ID. And then, so here is the plus button, so which is useful for joining into your new class. And then click on join class. So if you want to start a class, it is create. So now you are joining a class. So click on plus sign and click on join class. Here, so whatever I have given you as your Google Class code, that code is to be uploaded. So that code I have already sent to your mails. So this is the code. So copy the code, paste it over here and click on join. Okay, so you will be able to join your Google Classroom. So this is the procedure in which you have to join your Google Classroom. So hope everyone will join the Google Classroom in another 10 minutes so that I'll be giving the attendance sheet, and that attendance sheet is to be filled in another 30 minutes. Okay. Okay, I'll be giving the attendance sheet in 10 minutes and it will be on for only for 30 minutes. After that, the attendance sheet will be gone. So please join the Google Classroom as fast as possible. Okay, so now we can wind up this session. We'll be continuing at sharp 12 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you. See any queries? Yeah, if you see that you are not able to join the Google Classroom, then you have to see which mail ID you are logged into. So you have to use a Gmail account, not your college domain mail accounts or your other institute domain mail accounts. It is for Gmail account. So everyone needs to join so that there will be some assignments which you need to submit them. Okay. Any more queries? Geetanjali, so what is your query? So I have shared the screen now, how to enter into the Google Classroom. So please follow. Go to the link Google Classroom, click plus sign on the top right. So click join class, enter the class code that I have given you. So you will be able to join the Google Classroom. That's it. So feedback will not be taken every day because it is a continuous session. Feedback will be taken only at the end. So daily you have to give your attendance and you have to submit the assignments given. So the Google Classroom link is already mailed to you, or else, so this is your link. So please copy it. Classroom code. And that is the link. And I want to tell another thing. So if you, whenever you submit your assignment, So you have to turn it on your Google Classroom. So you have an option called as turn in. So you have to click that option, only then so we can know that you have submitted your assignment. Okay, so all those I'll be explaining you whenever you enter your Google Classroom. I have already given a small assignment, that is login into your Tinkercad account. Okay, so just enroll into the Tinkercad account. That's it you have to do. So after that, so click on turn in so that I know that you have completed that. Okay, so I think it is clear for everyone. So if you have any other issues, you can contact me on my WhatsApp number. So whatever you have sent the registration amount, you can contact on that number. So I'll be able to resolve you in joining the Google Classroom. So, okay, thank you. So, and join tomorrow at 12 o'clock sharp. So tomorrow you'll be having a complete hands-on session. So whatever account you have registered into this particular workshop is immaterial, madam. So you have to use a Gmail account to log in into your Google Classroom. Google Classroom do not allow other domain accounts. I am very clear. So Google Classroom will not allow any other domain accounts. So you have to use your Gmail account, then everything will be very smooth. You will be able to enter into the Google Classroom with one click, as I have shown you previously. So don't worry. So you have a lot of time, another 20 hours of time before your next session starts. So meanwhile, I'll be uploading everything into your Google Classroom, and feedback will not be there. Feedback only at the end of your 5th day. Okay, thank you for today.